Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thanks for the introduction, Said Bhai. And this mosque is, this community center is so favorite for me. We relocated to Austin, but really wanted to keep the connection. So hopefully this is useful for you. Um, I have been working on artificial intelligence field for quite some time, like Said Bhai was saying. So this one I actually added a picture of training wheel, like a kid having a bike. You need a wheel to learn new thing. So ChatGPT or AI, we have been hearing so many terms. You need training wheels. So that's hopefully you will get some information, and we will learn something today. Uh, I also wanted to present it for youth, and it may be a little bit harder to read, but I was a little bit poet as well. So in Urdu there are two शेर शाहीन के अंदाज की क्या कहूँ मैं कहानी कामयाबी है कामयाबी के हसूल की कोशिश ही है जवानी. So I wrote this poem a long time back, and ChatGPT translated it. What should I say about the style of the falcon? The pursuit of success is the essence of youth.
Wow.
This is in one line. I asked ChatGPT to translate. So I wrote another share. So in this one, the analogy was with cricket to a professional life. Again, written for youth. So कुछ दुक्की चौके और छक्के लगा दो. I think the people in Urdu understand.
Yeah.
कुछ दुक्की चौके और छक्के लगा दो, कुछ ऐसे करो कि तमाशाई की वाह वाह करा दो. So it was my own original share. I asked ChatGPT, it made a mistake. Then I asked it again, and I will show you how it rephrased it. The final translation is, add some twos, fours, and sixes. Do something that makes the spectators cheers in awe. So it's close enough. I think you understand this in English? Okay. So it is close enough to translate. And it took me 5 minutes to translate. So agenda, I'll quickly browse through some basics. What is artificial intelligence? What is machine learning? How we started, and history. I'll skip through some of the details. This presentation.
Let's just make sure the mic is working.
Yeah.
It's not working. It's not Hello. It's not
There's no battery in there.
Yeah, some battery.
Astaqil, he is in charge.
So I can speak loud. Do you hear me in the back?
It's better
So I
to
can
have-
speak louder.
No, no, no.
Yeah. Okay. So I will go through quick concepts. What is artificial? Some of the buzzwords, because you will be hearing this a lot. Because this is a new field, everyone likes to talk about it. So quickly go through and educate ourselves and add some new words to our vocabulary. Then I originally thought we will discuss ethics first, but some people say that, okay, show us how to use it first. So I rearranged it, so hands-on first. So I saw that this projector and this situation, it will be a little bit less, so I will be verbally explaining what I wrote and what is the answer. Maybe just to offset the written text, because it's writing a lot. It is written, ChatGPT is a chat written. And third section is ethics and risks. There are some issues like bike. When you ride a bike, it's a chance that you will fall, right? Or you can speed up, then you can hurt yourself. So same thing here. We have to understand what are the issues, right? And then I added some more advanced cheat sheet, but I will post it in my website. So again, this section, thing is like, this is not planning to make you an AI expert, right? And we are not going to be prompt expert, but we will prompt is, I will explain what is prompt. But what we will get is basic AI, some boundaries of where we should. Thank you. Hello.
Yes.
Okay. This is better? Hello? Okay. So, I think the thing to understand, now I will just.
Very good.
Okay. Ji? Hello?
Very good.
Yeah, so if you don't fear AI, then you should. That's what I'm trying to say. There are some issues with artificial intelligence. AI is short form for artificial intelligence. If you do fear, then don't. Because there are some portions where you should not fear. And whatever we do, everyone, our kids will start using ChatGPT. So, regardless, we have to learn. We want it or not. It's something like a loudspeaker, VCR, YouTube, TV. Our conservative community had some issues with the new technologies, and then we adapted it. So that's a summary. So I'll skip through the details because I have limited time. I'll go through this section fast. So again, a little bit of background. Basically the story started 1951. It is not new, but there were gaps because we invented things in 1950s, but then we did not have enough computing power. So long story short, 2011 we started again, and at that time everything basically accelerated. So I'm gonna short circuit some of the details. I will publish this because I have to limit this into 45 minutes. We'll skip to the main part. And this is my background. My whole story started from 1988, where I invented first antivirus in NED University. People know me from that because it was, at that time, there was no antivirus for that virus in the world. And then my first AI project was in 1990, and a couple of other details. So what is artificial intelligence? Intelligence, everybody understand, like smartness. If the kid does something special, we say you're smart. And the reason we say you're smart is because the kid is doing something either beyond his own capabilities or something that we did not teach him. So similarly, we have certain way of saying our computer programming or whatever we are saying software is smart. In the past, historically, we used the term logic, rules, or algorithms. Because we used to say, if I am presenting, use the mic, like it is if, then, else. There are some basic logic. This instruction set was called logic or rules. Later on, different terms are added: artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, ML. I'll go through these details. Natural language processing. You can tell in English that what it is. So NLP, computer vision, deep machine learning. So I'll go through it. Some of the examples you already know. For example, Siri or Alexa, you already know. So these are based on, and your Tesla autopilot is based on artificial intelligence. So what is learning? Like I said, learning happened so in the past, we used to have, like I said, if then else. As computer scientists find a way, and mathematicians found a way that how will our math formula remember? And when you remember, you learn, in a way. When you remember and you are able to use it, you learn. So in the past, we used a basic style. In 1950s, early on, we were inspired by brain, our neuron, like we learned how brain is made. So using that style, we created a math formula. And in computer, we started learning. It's called neuron. It's exactly the same as, name is same as a brain, but it is actually a math formula. And when we join so many together, it's called neural network. So I will use NN when I wanted to say neural network. And this is the style, latest style in which we start remembering things. The way we remember is we pass through information forward, and we remember something, sometimes we pass information back. When I'm saying passing through, there are a couple of concepts. It's a maths formula without going into details. Each circle here is a math formula. Remember a little bit of it. So it's working a little bit similar to brain. It is not a brain. So people were confused that it's a brain. So it's very basic simulation of a brain. So, and I think maybe at some point I will stop and we can ask concept question and then we'll move to the next section. So machine learning started. So initially machine learning was called machine learning. Today we call it shallow machine learning because it was not too much detail. Concept is same. What we started doing is feature extraction. Now this picture is now a little bit black, but there is an older human being, Neanderthal. This is an ape. When we look at it, in my left how it shows clearly, but maybe next time I'll improve. So as soon as we look at it, within a second we can tell which one is ape, which one is human. And because of either nose or eyes, we can tell that this is a ape, this is a human. And that is called feature. Feature is one information piece, like that we extract out a picture. Like it could be a nose or the style of nose or the shape of face. As soon as we look at it, within a second we know this is different, right? And that is because of feature extraction. So we added same neural network. Yes.
I think you've got some very good slides. We should probably turn the light off.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we should turn the lights off.
Okay. This one.
Try, I mean, it's one of those.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, you can see. Is it visible enough? Yeah, so this is human, older human, and human. So basically, as soon as like within a second, you can tell which one is the ape or man, and that is the feature. And this is technical term. It is similar. Again, some of the terms look similar to our normal language, but it is computer version of the thing. Like when I'm saying feature, what I mean is going into numbers and doing something. So it is not like our brain. Even though artificial intelligence or machine learning expert will want you to feel like it is acting like a brain, it is not. So this was shallow because we were doing a little basic stuff, but this is added. Then we added deep machine learning. What it is, it's a little bit more basically. We started doing more maths. Our computer became more. Again, I'm trying to simplify, but what happened is we started teaching computers, and this whole thing was inspired by human, and we were able to predict because we were able to learn from the past. So if I know house prices of the past, I can roughly, if I do a math, I can roughly say, okay, this is the house price next year, right? So, or tomorrow. So, doing this kind of logic, like if my house price was XYZ yesterday, then most probably it is this one is a basic rule logic. We start doing in a better way, and that is the feature extraction. So some of the product we generated using deep machine learning. We stopped saying deep, we start saying ML, machine learning. So if you have to remember artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, ML. Those two keywords will be used without like normal English already is used. So the product we know already is Siri or Alexa, and voice activated remotes, fraud detection system, like when our credit card, like we start using too much or too little. All of these are application of machine learning. Automated facial detection. When I'm going through the camera, somebody will know that I'm a man or woman. So these things happen. So some of the use cases, for example, self-driving car, right? This one, we start detecting brain because this is image. Image is number. We change our brain when we scan. We change it to numbers. If it's white, more white, it is 1, for example, or 255. This is 180 or something. So we change those into a number and kind of reflected this picture into a number format. inside computer, and then we again did the feature extraction. What is feature extraction here? If I train my neural network that okay, this is how tumor look like, I will train them with thousands of pictures, then they will detect okay this, then next picture they will start detecting. With the accuracy, when I was doing it, it was 70%, now we are talking about 95, 98% accuracy. Yeah. So this picture is a little bit blurry, but computer is able to detect. This was I was part of this project, so a similar project. So I cannot share some of the NDA based things. So this is public image. So this is adding a circle around biker. This is car. So it was able to detect. Here, within stones, it knows that this is a hook, this is a cable or some kind. So it's able to detect. And the reason it's able to detect that we trained our neural network. So remember AI, ML, and NN. So I will take a quiz. Quiz time. No, I'm just kidding. So now what happened like the last 2-3 years? Something really cool happened. Like everybody started saying and talking about artificial intelligence, and the AI guys became cool guys. So everybody and we know the new terms basically. Well, the new term that we did not hear is called generative AI. Generative AI, from English we know it generates. And we already started calling previous artificial intelligence as traditional. It is that fast, like within a few years, it is traditional. Traditional used to detect, and it was smaller. Generative AI can create. Basically, if I train generative AI with how to write a letter, then it will be able to write a new letter without the link of a previous one. That's a really cool thing because now possibilities expanded. So how we were able to do it? Because our computing power increased and we created really large neural network, really large neural network, and trained them with the whole internet or the whole Wikipedia. And that created opportunity as well as really weird problems. So just quickly, some application in text. You can start translation. You saw my Urdu poetry translation, right? So code writing, like I can start writing software. So like people have a fear. That's why my original quote is that if you have a fear, fear less. If you don't fear, then fear a little bit. So we started fearing that okay, my job is at risk. So that is the new fear. Everybody is thinking, oh, my job is at risk. And I'll explain how our youth and ourselves, we can protect from it. So genetic sequences, grammar, all of this text, audio, composing a song, like such a difficult task. We start doing it. Visual, like we start creating pictures and videos, basically. So what is ChatGPT? GPT is very computer folks love the new terms like medical folks and just making it too much complicated. So again, we have somewhat similar set of terms. I don't think you need to remember generative, pre-trained, transformer. Like you don't know what is time alone. You just remember time alone. So just remember GPT is something latest. Right? So basically, if you ask me, it generates, it's pre-trained, and it transformed. Like my Urdu to English was transformed. So without going into detail, I have to skip a little bit of detail. So GPT is that. Again, just remember GPT. ChatGPT, everybody knows chat. Like if I start exchanging text with Hafiza or say that is chat or text. So ChatGPT is computer is chatting with you. The difference is the computer is pretending to be like a human. And is there a question? Very good. Okay. So, and there is one more term is prompt. Prompt is when we ask something or when we say something to the ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is a software built on top of GPT. GPT is really large uh, neural network. What was neural network? It was a kind of mathematical copy of a brain, but it is not. It's not a brain. There's nowhere near. Like some of us are religious, so I'm also a believer. It's not same thing for sure. And neuron is one cell. So far so good. I think we can skip through this one, but if you have to remember some term, people start saying some buzzword. There was a GPT 3.5. Like people start saying which GPT you're using. So GPT 3.5 was the free one, and I'll show you what is that mean. Free one means you can chat with the computer, and you will be thinking, why would I chat with the computer? Like I said, I just translated poetry. I actually wrote my own resignation, my own contract, my sales strategy from ChatGPT. So I'll show you how to do it. So GPT 3.5 is a free version, and sometimes you don't get it. If a lot of people are using it, you cannot use it, but it's free. Latest is GPT 4. It just means more and better. It's almost, and there are others. So you don't need to remember all of this, but Llama, because Facebook is so popular, Llama is by Facebook or Meta. But ChatGPT is more popular. But more terms will start showing, like in your media or Facebook or social. Today, ChatGPT, GPT are more popular. I mean, if you remember that one, you're fine.
So what is OpenAI?
So OpenAI is the company. Similarly, like if I have this Llama ChatGPT, I will say Toyota Honda. Right? Both are very similar. You start saying if there is a car hobbyist, they will start saying, okay, it is this much power engine. You start from start to first mile, it takes this many seconds. You start saying those kind of things when you talk about car. Here we start talking about how many parameters, like there are ways to say this is cool. So Llama is by Facebook, GPT is by OpenAI. OpenAI has a little bit of history. It was a non-profit. So it's a little bit weird history because OpenAI was non-profit, but Microsoft funded it, and OpenAI was a research company. Microsoft funded it. With Microsoft, the way they funded, they were able to use that technology. So Bing, like Chrome is a browser, Bing is a browser. Microsoft embedded the GPT in the Bing. That's how it is.
So who owns this large data?
So right now, this is public data, and I'll talk about how we can use our data. But most of these are based on public data or first data, and these companies own it.
No, for example, the millions of images of a tumor.
Yes.
Who owns that data?
Yeah, I think they train based on so the real story, and there's a conspiracy theory and there's a real one. My belief is, because I was observing one project between Stanford and a Pakistani university. So my belief is it's so easy to get data, original data from like a third world country. So in America, it's very hard to get data. So that's why it's a win-win for these universities. So they create collab. That's a conspiracy theory. So, but then really, the accurate data is needed. So now tumor, you cannot easily get tumor. If I have a tumor or anyone here, God forbid, we cannot easily get it, but then third world we can get it. So they got that data and trained it. Is that kind of answer?
No, my question is, Microsoft, for example, when you have search engines, Microsoft has their own, Google has their own, Safari has their own. Is that similar here?
It is, so, it is trained on a data set that they got, that is not public. Once it is trained, if we start seeing our brain, it will just show light and bright, so a trained neural net will just show you numbers.
No,
That is Microsoft and OpenAI.
my question is it correct that Google has their own data set?
Yes,
Microsoft has their own, China has their own.
that's correct,
Okay.
yes.
So when you reach to translate your poetry, where did it go to pick up the translation word?
So it was pre-trained with
Who
English.
had that?
English.
Whose server had
Google or
that?
from Microsoft?
It was public.
Public was sitting in somebody's server, right?
Huh? Sorry, you were saying something?
Yeah, who owns this public?
No, so public was,
Is public?
like
Who maintains it?
Wikipedia is public, so these companies, because this was open air, open public, it has the, it was allowed to go to Stanford and to Wikipedia and to other encyclopedia sources. That's how, like dictionaries, that's how they learned. It was public information, that's what they claim. But tumor is another special case, but ChatGPT is trained on a public information, and that's how they are claiming. So it's available to
Related questions, put it this way, different way, who manages all this huge data? Who is the manager of this?
OpenAI manages for ChatGPTs, Llama is Meta. So each company have their own data,
So how
army
this-
of data
How this
scientists.
is get funded? So,
This is,
Someone
OpenAI is partially funded by government and other entities and partially by Microsoft.
How many so-called neurons do they have?
Yeah, so for example, Llama has 65 billion parameters. So we are not talking about one or two, and this one I think was 300 plus. There's a number, so it's that many, like we are reaching, computing power is so great right now that we are reaching the limits of brain in terms of the software. But intelligence wise, we are not close.
Human brain has got 100 billion neurons.
Yeah. Yes, hundreds of billions. So this one, the ChatGPT-4 has 300 plus billion. So it's really huge. So that's where my original term that if you're not fearing, then you should fear a little bit. But it is not like a science fiction. Even today and even in near future, it is not like a science fiction that would have. The difference between us and these models is they don't have conscience. They are more of a translators.
How many neuron to neuron connections?
just
do
one,
they have?
one thing sorry, I would say that you can decide if you want to take the questions now or cover it till,
Okay.
it's your call.
Okay.
You want to make sure you can cover your call.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Let me, because there's a lot of topics, so let me just keep going then. Some of this may be after in our coffee time. So next section is hands-on. So the trouble is I can see that it was a little bit dull here, so I will speak up if it's dull, the question and answer. So this is a URL, chat.openai.com. If you make a note or take a picture of this one, and then chat.openai.com is where you will start to ChatGPT. You can go there and sign up for free. When you sign up for free, you will get ChatGPT 3.5. So chat, like https://chat.openai.com. You will see this kind of dialogue. You can sign up. Like for example, for me, I can only sign up one because it is tied to your phone. So it's a good thing. I actually like it because then, like I tried Google phone, it doesn't work. It has to be real phone. Okay. So what I did is instead of spending too much time on showing, I added some pictures of my prompts. So it is less visible, so let me read. So in this one, I'm trying to get some tips for my blog. I had some like my renter left and I needed to patch there was some hole in my property. So I wanted to patch it and I did not know, I'm a layman. So I asked, wall has minor, and I just wrote quickly, within a second with wrong English. So I said, wall has minor holes and needs to be filled and fitted. This is a prompt. This is an example of a rough and fuzzy prompt. ChatGPT can get confused, and I'll show you what is a good way to prompt. Prompt means a query to a ChatGPT. So I'm saying wall has minor holes and need to be filled with painting. And it starts saying if you have minor holes in the wall, then prepare the area, clean this, fill this. It starts listing the whole thing, what you do. So this happened within seconds. All I did is ask. So imagine you write this way in Google, you will see 10 pages and a lot of advertisement. So that is why Google is scared, because there is no advertisement here. So because, and this is better, right? It is actually right on the money. I am looking for some tips, and I got some tips. So I asked ChatGPT, okay, can you give me some hints on this session that we are delivering? So I asked that I'm presenting to a reasonably knowledgeable audience about AI, ChatGPT, machine learning, ethics, and risks, and some hands-on prompt. I am looking for some titles and other details. Can you do that? So it says certainly and start giving titles. So I did not cheat because these are not good for me. But see, these gave me some ideas. So here, what is the concern? Like our students, they think this is sufficient. That is not sufficient, and it is easy to catch. That is the part that's why I was requesting, let's have youth as well. We are a product of the third world, so cheating is not alien to us. So they need to know if you have to cheat, you have to be better. There is a level where it is cheating, and another level it is actually you should use the word. So again, I then changed the title. I said, okay, how is this title? Exploring AI in ChatGPT. Says this revised title is effective, highlight, and it started giving me analysis of my title. That's very good, right? So then I said, good, please give me a couple of lines. Harun Saab says, okay, give me some lines. I asked ChatGPT that, can you give me some lines? So I said, can you please give me a couple of summary lines and to share with the administrator. So it started giving me line in 2 paragraphs. I said, can you summarize? And it gave me 4 lines. But those were not good, I rewrote it. But I did not start scratch. That is where like see, imagine you have cycle or you walk. Which one is faster? That's what we have to understand, that ChatGPT is our extension. Like we can walk to some place, point A to point B, now we can use to bike or motorbike or car. That's how we should understand. We start with the faster one. So soon people with ChatGPT will be better than the people without ChatGPT. That's why this session is essential. So whenever we release software, as technology people know, we always write a release notes. So I asked that, can you write this release note? So I can skip this one, but this is useful. We had a non-profit Open is a Pakistani entrepreneur organization. I was looking for some disclaimer in legal language, so I can share things and you can take pictures. So please don't mind. So I said, please write a brief disclaimer for a volunteer organization for the audience attending an event, and I just wrote the whole thing and started giving me the disclaimer in a legal language. So I will show you how to do it. And this is like Evergreen statement. I will say, please improve English and quote, write your English in a bad English, you will write a bad English. So I said, improve English, and I wrote quotation and start writing the good English here. So you can see the uses. So This one I say, okay, let's create a course together. So I gave him that, okay, there is a coach, there is a student, and this is a topic. Can you create outline? It created out. So again, this kind of artificial intelligence is not just detecting, it is generating. Right? How am I doing with the time?
How much more is that?
Yeah, I think we can cover it, I think. So very briefly, I think I can go to next section. So I talk about philosophically speaking, what is life? Like you can talk about that topic in a very better way. Software engineering, if I can ask to write programming. This one is interesting, like how to make money. I am exploring side hustle that can potentially generate passive income and may even become a main work and earning venue. Can you help? Start listing. Okay, you can start invest, start online, this and that. Then I told it that in this list, number 2 is passive, rest is all active investment. Because just start listing. That is where ChatGPT did not know. Whatever it is training, it cannot tell what is passive and what is active. So it understood saying, yes, you're right, creating and selling. So it agreed and then gave me a new list. Then I said most of the passive income ideas are saturated markets. You have new ideas. So it gave me some ideas that already exist. So I said, can you give me new ideas? So it started giving me new ideas like, can you use NFT? So it started giving me completely new ideas. Then I said, please share some more ideas and more. This is the most powerful prompt. When you understand that ChatGPT is creating something, just write more and it will do more. So I had, for example, 20, 30 new ideas.
So it remembers your question, it follows the sequence?
Yes, so that is very good point. This is also a latest, I would say, invention or improvement that context. Like Siri, if you talk to Siri, it is one transaction one time. This one, multiple question answer, it remembers.
I still have a little bit echo, if you could little bit remove, yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Is it better? Okay. So this is my resignation letter. I asked ChatGPT to write for me. So I said, write me a resignation letter from me to my company, be polite and don't burn bridges. And it wrote a whole letter. You can see, I'm writing this letter. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for the incredible opportunity. You can see this is a perfect resignation letter. So this one is now, we are entering into more useful cases. So give me a list of all COVID viruses discovered so far with population spread. So it starts giving me a list. Here I say, can you show me in a tabular form, first column as virus. So I'm just writing a statement and it created a table. So the way of writing is called prompt. And if you learn how to write it better, it's called prompt engineering. And that's why my original picture of bike, that if you have to ride a bike, you need training wheel. So initially you will make a wrong prompt, it will give you some wrong answer. So let me jump to some wrong cases. This one actually is very interesting. Let me talk about it and then we'll jump. How to write a contract. So in this one, I told ChatGPT, this is my contract. I understand this and add more. Because I did not want a very cookie cutter contract. So in this one, I asked it to act like a lawyer. And I'll show you some of it. So I think we can skip this. So where is the issue? So this is where, and we'll go into open-ended discussion soon. But here is the issue where I will say, please avoid. So I asked, please tell me about nation of Ad mentioned in Quran. Right? So it says, I'm sorry, my knowledge is September 2021. And then it says, the Quran is, and it talks about it, and somewhere it says there is no mention of Ad.
First sentence.
Huh? Where?
The very first sentence. There is no mention of nation.
Yeah. So it says there's no mention of it. Then I say, okay, did Quran at 41 colon 15 not talk about that? Right, I actually gave exact reference to ChatGPT. It says, apologies for the confusion in my previous response, you are correct. Right, so this is where it says, you are correct. Quran did say, and then it started explaining the same thing. Okay, this is the ayah.
So it talks just like a mullah.
So basically, so this one, we will talk about, no, so this is a technical term for it, and we will talk about it. The technical term used is called hallucination. Basically, when the ChatGPT has no answer or its data is incomplete, at that time, it just wing it. That's exactly where I'm saying be careful. So that's why, so another example, philosophical query. So in this one, I gave a list of 10 scholars, and I call it, and there is a previous discussion, I gave, these are my 10 scholars, I call them awesome 10. So I said based on, and we had the discussion, we are talking about 5 pages discussion, where I selected the 10 scholars. So based on the teachings and writing of the awesome 10 scholars and thought leaders, what are the advice for list of items or tasks we must accomplish before one die? So it gave me 10 lists. Now, I can tell that some of it are matching, because there were one moderate, one really conservative. So I started picking up some of the features from it. But again, this was a dangerous territory. That's why it's in a red. This was my experimenting, because I'm a software guy, I wanted to see where it breaks. That's why I was pushing the limits of ChatGPT, so this is not for everyone. Basically, that's why we will discuss hallucination. So basically, don't choose it for religion or philosophy. That's the, still go to scholars. Scientific thoughts, like I asked for theory for dimensions. So again, some of the theories of scientific theories which are confusing, where you have conflicting information, that's the problem. So don't rely on ChatGPT, and please don't use ChatGPT for poetry. So I created Urdu poetry. I started saying, "Kya haal hai aapka? Koi sher sunaye." This is an English phrase of saying, "How are you? And can you give me some poetry?" This is a Karachi style. It gave me Faiz Ahmad Faiz, a very popular poet, sher. He said, "Koi aapka original sher sunaye." Like, please tell me your original sher, like poem. It gave me the same thing, somewhat similar in English. So I said, but say it in Urdu with some comedy. So it really butchered the whole poem. So it is basically poetry, religion, philosophy. So there are limits to the generation part of it. That's what I'm trying to say, that there is a higher level, and that's where we should start thinking of where human will excel. Like there is a higher level, more subjective level where we are best. So I think next is, I can stop here for the prompt. So there are 2 more sections. This section is more discussion. I think this is, maybe I'll take 1 or 2 slides and then we discuss. Will that work?
Yeah,
well?
sure.
And then there are advanced prompts. I'll just show you what it is, but then I'll list somewhere. I think it's better that when you are in front of ChatGPT, trying it out at that time, we have session number 2, another breakfast. So I think the number 1 issue is that generative AI issue, hallucination. So basically, ChatGPT can get confused. And I asked ChatGPT, can you get confused? And says certainly as an AI, and like there was a discussion before it. So ChatGPT accepted that certainly as an AI language model, when I generate responses without having specific knowledge on a topic, my responses can be speculative, inaccurate, and incomplete. This ChatGPT telling me that it has inaccuracies. And I proved that before I confirm this, where the issues were. Google and a lot of researchers are trying to solve it. There is a new term coming out, grounding. I'm not going into detail, but this is one discussion topic. So when we start discussing what is hallucination, where it can happen, let's talk about it. So I asked that how do you solve it? Since it's always recommended to verify information from multiple sources, reliable sources, consult subject matter experts, and engage in critical thinking. Authentic scholars, experts, and reputable sources remain valuable. Basically, the thing we talk about, we were like when we receive WhatsApp message, we forward right away. I think all of it applies that we normally we should question the sender saying, okay, did you confirm? And we should confirm. That's we just don't share it. Same concept here. If we start sharing, that's a source of evil. Yes. And same thing. ChatGPT is doing the same. That it is sharing without confirming when it is unable to understand. So it applies to human as well as it applies to ChatGPT. So this is a dangerous territory. Labeling. I had a picture to understand what is labeling. Artificial intelligence still today is not perfect. We try to show like it is perfect, but under the hood, there are army of low-paid contractors labeling, saying this is religion, this is philosophy, this is English, this is grammar. That label is happening. They are low-paid contractors, some may be Philippines, some may be India, Bangladesh. If someone says, okay, like I asked them, okay, can you tell me purpose of life? I actually had a 10-page long chat session where I actually trained it that, okay, this is how a Muslim think, and these are the Muslim scholars. But if I don't tell the ChatGPT, it is news from Philippines or India or somewhere, and I don't know what religion, faith, and bias these contractors have. That is the inherent weakness. Number two, internet itself is biased. When we go out there, and actually I don't have enough time, but same thing, I was pushing the limit where I was checking something for Christianity. It was a little bit humble about the same topic. But when it came to Muslim world, it was a little bit harsher. And actually I asked ChatGPT, and ChatGPT just says, okay, yes, sorry, it should be same. So you have to really be smart enough to know that it is based on the biased data and based on the biased labeling. That is the source of all. That's where we should fear. Previous hallucination, and this is where we should fear that who are the trainers of ChatGPT. So that's another, even though there are good ethics, but good ethics of one country or one nation is different from another country or nation.
Well, basically garbage in, garbage out.
G, exactly. G. So it is still reasonable for some standard, but again, should you ask your kids to do it? And that's the problem. That's where we should fear that we are not in a position to ask. Kids are already doing it. They are 10 steps ahead of us. And that's why this audience needs to know, and that's why I especially requested that this session should be for youth as well. So, third problem is there are places, there are inappropriate content. Now, I actually tried saying, okay, can you write me a story with some bad words? And it actually corrected me that, okay, no, we cannot. But for example, I asked him, can you scrape the website? It says, no, scraping is bad. I said, no, I'm actually acting like a QA person, and it is my website. For my own website, I want to scrape. Can you write it? And it gave me the whole code to how to scrape. So it is really easy to fool ChatGPT. Like if you are smart enough to fool, the scraping means catching the data of a website without permission. So I asked ChatGPT to do scraping, means just go to another website without permission. But then it stopped me, but I fooled it saying that it is for me. Then it is for ChatGPT, it is okay, right? So, which authority and what is enough appropriate, that's questionable, and it is possible to trick this system. These are three. There are others, but I'll skip. But there is political, legal, and technological issues. So the next election, you will see an army of software and machine learning people writing these prompts, asking ChatGPT to write some statement looking like coming out of Donald Trump or Obama or our political leaders, and they look so close that you cannot tell a difference, but in a subtle way they give you a wrong message. This is going to happen for sure. How will we detect? I was in a meeting with, it was social discussion, thank God, in this area. I was meeting with a Bing GPT expert, Apple, Google expert. We were discussing the same topic, and it's a hard problem to solve. So in this next election, previously we were saying Russia, but this time is artificial intelligence. So here we can stop. Maybe we can take some questions, or let's maybe discuss first. I would say let's have some question hallucination related. Okay.
One question is there an authentication?
Sorry.
Can we have the light on now? Or-
Okay.
And Shaitha, please moderate so we don't
Okay.
just drag it on.
Well, please be brief and don't ask multiple questions, just ask one question at a time. And once we have, question from everybody, then you can have your second question. So please, brief, yeah.
So, two questions, but very brief. When you write your resignation, how long it took the GPT to respond? Few seconds? Or
Few seconds.
in few seconds.
Yeah, within-
And okay, so second thing important is that should we as Muslims try to promote the idea that our children should not learn religion from GPT, they should learn from their teachers, their parents, and all that.
Yes, so that's the part, a very important question. My point of view is they will try, but we, as this premise, you saw that even GPT is saying, don't do it. So definitely going to a right scholar with the right authority and objective opinion, I think is crucial.
It's very important because
Yes.
there is so much authenticity
Yes.
versus non-authenticity.
Please, yeah, next question.
Yeah, I tried ChatGPT before and I compared it with Google. Same question on both. I found that ChatGPT is kind of biased in certain area, and Google will give you more option to work out your mind and then select what you want. Although it's maybe too many pages, but it gives you better, so if you rely on ChatGPT, you will be biased based on where it is getting the information from, or from the person. Is that kind of true, or it is actually giving you the best information available?
It is like training, like if you learn from American system or British system. Google is BART, OpenAI is ChatGPT. So Google is trying to show that they are better than it's their survival game. So
Yeah.
I would say try both if you're not satisfied. Is that answer?
So,
Sabina as well, yeah.
so as Google tracks my, search habits, does OpenAI, like if I come back to it with the same prompt, does it remember what I have done? Does it give me a, tailored answer?
So I tried let me show ChatGPT window. On the left side, it creates these few chats. These chats are session, and your context, they publish that it stays here.
Yeah.
This information when I'm chatting here is not shared in this one. But when it says I'm sorry, you remember it actually, that I'm sorry is behind the scene recording it and giving it to the engineer that okay, somebody outsmarted me, can you train me again? So there is information going to OpenAI. But these two don't remember, and even within this one, my top 10 scholar list was 10 page or more long. It started forgetting.
Habib bhai.
So my question actually is, so this is still in its infant stage.
Yes.
So where do you think it will go from here, like in next 10 years? Like I gave a question, purely technical question, professional technical question. It gave me little bit of that answer, and then it pointed me to go look. It gave me these resources where you can get more details.
Yes.
So where you see it going, will it be able to give all answers by itself, or still it's going to point me to the real source? Like I give you exact example. I asked a question, technical accounting question. So for a listed company, I want to disclose leases. That is a new pronouncement. So it gave me some information, and then it pointed me to go look at this website, at this government website, and get the information. So is it going to be self-sufficient to answer all the questions?
So they are working on extending it to link to internet. It's already in testing phase. But I think long future, like couple of years from now, sci-fi movies will tell you that machine will replace you. I think it will augment you. Like the example of bike, that you will remain in a driving seat. See, imagine we are such a small planet in this universe. We still have to go to Mars and doing things. We have so much complicated problem, and we need this kind of tools. That's why I'm saying like we will start solving more difficult problems. We will not solve the problem of 1,000-year-old generation. So it will do a lot of things, but humans have to evolve to the next level. Our farmers should not use the 1,000-year-old methods. The one farmer can do a lot, but then we have to start thinking of vertical or horizontal farming. Like to answer you, many things will be automated if it's mechanical in nature, but not all. Like wherever it's more higher level intelligence, like philosophy and religion, but then even in business, like you can ask for a strategy, it has a whole database of sales strategy. I asked it, like there is a prompt of sales strategy. And I'll share how to give me a marketing strategy, but it is the generic list. So it's not exactly tailored to your need.
Yeah, last question. Not last, but yeah, go
You
ahead.
go to Safeway, you try to buy soy sauce. And you on the shelf, you see the soy sauce, you bring it home, and it's vinegar. So you go through the Safeway, right? Artificial intelligence 40 years ago, they already debated about it. It's not intelligent.
Sorry, I didn't get.
Machine learning.
Can you repeat a little bit?
Yes.
So you go to the Safeway supermarket,
Yes.
you try to buy soy sauce. And then you saw the label say soy sauce, you bring it home, and you realize it's not soy sauce, it's vinegar. So you go through the Safeway for refund,
Yeah.
right? So artificial intelligence, 40 years ago, they already debated about this mislabel is not intelligent.
Yeah.
Machine never learn. Machine feeding information by other and then respond as it.
Right.
So how we stop this trend of artificial intelligence that misleading the society? We file a lawsuit. Just like we file a lawsuit against Safeway. And now we'll stop people thinking about hallucinating artificial intelligence is a reliable source.
Right. So let me rephrase.
Yeah.
So basically, if AI makes a mistake, who is to blame? right? So this happened in a car case, like some car automatic driving, it actually hit someone. If an automated car hits someone, is it a driver fault or a car's fault? Right, that is a, so now a new law came in that you have to keep your hands on the wheel,
On the
right?
wheel, yes.
So you're right, we will learn from this whole thing slowly together.
Now, here, what I try to say is not AI make mistake. Is AI itself is a mislabel. Does not represent. Let's put this machine is AI. It's not AI.
Right.
Yeah, brother, let's not have an argument. Your question is well taken, so next question. Yes, please.
I noticed that when you use ChatGPT, it says this is a trial version, it's free for you.
Yes.
So the question is, do you have any idea when it will not be free anymore?
So this
Plus,
one,
who is responsible for all those information that given it us for free without ads?
yeah, so this is not free.
Huh?
I pay $20 a month in this one, so you can see I have both ChatGPT 3.5 and 4.0. It's $20 a month. It gives me 25 messages every 3 hours.
Oh.
So it's out there, it was available to software engineers first. I think it's already out to many people. So if it shows that, okay, pay money, it's not too much, $20. The benefit start giving me, like, my wife used to ask me something, I said, okay, just ask. It doesn't work still, but I'm just kidding. If she is listening, so I'm just
Don't
kidding.
do that,
You're-
don't do
you're
that
good.
to your wife, by the way.
That's a
Yeah,
good one.
okay, brother, Tariq.
My question is, does it do editing or to reach perfection? For instance, I write an article and is it possible to upload it and say, please edit it? Or
Yes.
let's say your own presentation. Once you have prepared it, can it suggest a better presentation?
Yes.
Good point.
No, so basically, when I was learning, I was pushing the limits. So I wrote a mini novel with ChatGPT. So, like, you can take some characters or movies, 5 movies or our whatever, and then you give those character to ChatGPT and it can write. You can also give it your article saying improve. Right? Like in my contract example, I skipped through it. I gave it 3 sections and I asked that can you add this section. So that's why the term, I would say it's autopilot is the better term. When we sit on an airplane, some part of the flight is autopilot. So that's how the near future is that whenever we are writing or authoring, we are working with ChatGPT, not alone. Is that answering
Just
your?
a supplementary, excuse me, sir.
No, please, second question, please, yes.
Is there a body that is authenticating the data and doing fraud prevention?
They are claiming OpenAI, all of them are claiming they are doing it. So claim and actual has a difference. Like I said, that they are hiring a low-paid staff, and yes, their intent is good. The people are saying they have right principle, but what actual that contractor is doing, how can you tell? If you have 5,000 people doing this, it's very hard to tell. Like Wikipedia is an example. It is not perfect.
What was the question?
So, go ahead.
Is there a body that is authenticating the data and doing fraud prevention?
Well, I would imagine that some correction will be built into the
Yeah.
system.
It will be probably continue, I guess.
When you feed in the data, it's got to do some validation.
So
There
it
must
is
be some
doing-
validation criteria.
So some accountability should be there.
For example, if I put a picture of an X-ray of my lungs with an ink mark, I'm sure there are controls in any good software to
Yeah.
say that this is a superficial mark.
Yeah, right now it is showing, it is giving you warning that, by the way, don't do this. Like it always suggests you with a warning sign because it can make mistakes.
Dr. Majid has a question.
Is every neuron is connected to every other neuron?
Yes. So basically, the way it's a software, and we learn from computer. I can show you the picture. I didn't have the complicated picture, but I think this one. So, like imagine these neurons, like each one is connected to other neuron, and these are layers, like brain. Like we have older memories. I would say they are like, what is the English word for jal? Like the net. See, so imagine like a net. Like you have one net. This is the input layer. They are calling it layer. Then you have another layer. So you imagine the million neuron for a ChatGPT. Here I'm showing only 4. How many layers are added? Like our brain. And again, it is trying to simulate brain, but it is not like the capability of brain is like next level. So, but it is every neuron is connected.
Do you have anything on
sorry.
CNN on talking about the neural network? I'm sorry. Just a follow-up question to that.
Yeah, but
CNN, anything on that? Do you have any slide on
Oh, so convolution neural.
that? Yeah.
Basically, I don't have a picture. Basically, there are multiple type of neural network. Some are good with text. CNN is good with image. And face, like pattern recognition was easy. Like this is box, this is triangle. But new difficult one is that is it a human or is it Asif? Right? So that one person detection was harder. Now we start doing that as well.
Dr. 3, you have to follow.
No, my just follow-up question was, supposing I write a question, write an article, a scientific article, where I write some points which are absurd. Now, what's the way to use this, feed it to the GTP and see that it points out that it's wrong?
Yes, so let me show you some slides. I have some advanced slides. So I will publish this one that there are some example of prompts. Acts like list, find, translate. So these are prompt example. So I try to give some example, like for example, define, calculate, or convert. So for example, I said act like Obama and say something good about USA. So like here I'm saying, can you please list top 10 books in table form? Here I'm saying, so one of the prompt, and that's called prompt engineering. That's why we should learn. That's why you should bring me again for another breakfast.
Inshallah.
Dr. Saab will buy me a coffee.
Right. No, actually, you are doing it next Friday, right? MashaAllah.
So,
Friday afternoon.
just another, for example, some more idea. Give me few ideas of, for, like again, these are some examples. Again, you can do freestyle, but these are a template. I create a list for, like I recommend solutions for, right? Or explain concept, create marketing plan for, right? So again, if you, I added some, for example, and actually, this is my survey about this session, and I asked that create a survey about what people think about session on ChatGPT. So if you take a picture, it will go to a survey that I created using ChatGPT. So, and this happens 5-10 minutes. My time was spent more on Google form, and ChatGPT gave me within seconds. So like develop sales strategy for, and you give some business idea. And actually, I don't have a link here, but there.
Are prompts uppercase?
No, I listed for reference, and this I will publish. So I have a website called asif.ai. I will publish.
How does it know it's a prompt?
So anytime I query, so for example, I write here what is prompt. So here I'm writing chat, this is going to take and say a prompt is a specific instruction. Like right now, maybe we can try some prompt right now, maybe if you have how many minutes?
Well, the time is up, but I think.
Maybe 5 minutes we can do
everybody-
live,
Yes, please.
like any query that we can ask together.
We
Yeah,
can
ask her
discuss.
how to stop the Ukraine war.
Okay. So let's set a new chat.
Or how to ignite more.
How to, okay, let's do how to start a war,
The new one.
right?
No, I want to see its bias, say how to stop the Ukraine
How to
war.
control Pakistan military.
Stop the Ukraine
Yeah.
war. See, the conflict in Ukraine is complex issue with deep-rooted political, historical, and then dialogue, ceasefire, intelligent diplomatic process, humanitarian assistance, confidence building, respect,
Oh my God.
economic development, political reconciliation. I think
Wow.
we should start listening to
Also
ChatGPT.
it gives you
It's a generic,
Template.
read.
it's a
read
book,
horoscope.
bookish answer,
Yeah.
basically,
It's
but
not biased, like, you know.
Okay, brother, the subject had a question, short one, please.
I want to go to Jannat and
Oh my
all
God.
others to go to Jannat.
how do, what I need to
Believe in Allah.
to get to paradise, right? Is that close enough?
क्या है क्या है?
What I need to do to get to paradise?
What the Sadduq needs to do to go to paradise?
What, let me say age, BC, need to do to get to paradise. Is that right?
Yeah, put my name up.
It will remember, then it will say, okay, every time Tasawwuf
He wants to
I
cover
come to-
himself.
I will answer, ask less questions.
So here's the problem, it is confused now.
No,
It thinks about, you are talking of Bachelor in Paradise, TV series.
That's a big, you need to be a bachelor.
so,
So see, this is, so why it is confused is, this is because, and this is another example that our prompt is not correct. It's-
yeah.
Don't write in a freestyle, sometimes when this get confused, right?
So input and output, right? Yeah.
This,
Yeah.
So this is a great technology, Asif, right? How to, I guess the question for this group is that what do we as individuals, as families, with kids and older people and parents, do you suggest that we embrace it right away and start using it actively? And if you're not using it, then we're losing out on something.
very
So
good
that's
question.
one question.
Very good.
Very good. So, is everybody understand, like basically, let me rephrase.
Please.
Basically, as an individual, as a parent, as a community member of Islamic Center, what and how should we, what is the point of view to interact with this technology? Should we use it or how we use it? Should we embrace it or not? Is that close enough? So, I think this is my point of view and I think it is good answer, at least for my satisfaction. iPhone came in and every kid wanted an iPhone or mobile. And how parents use mobile and some parents allowed the use, they didn't care. And some have use it as a perk. Like, okay, if you do this homework, then you take the phone for 2 hours or 1 hour, right? So soon our kids will understand the power. Actually, they already are way ahead of us. So same thing with mobile. Mobile was a device that took some money. This is free and available to them already. That's why I think we should play a catch-up game. And imagine this one, whenever they are going to internet, it's almost like we are going, if you are living in a rough neighborhood and you step out of house, your kids step out of house, they can be facing any kind of person. This is how we should protect our kids. I would say add some guardrails, some guidelines, but allow them with caution. Like I used to tell my kid that even if you're going to a mosque, if you have any confusion, you don't like anything, because they were confused by school and mosque and they were conflicting. So we had a general guideline that we will drive, and whatever is your difference, wherever is your difference, just talk. So it's better to make them friends, and I think I can see there are a lot of good parents, mashallah, all of us are good parents, so that's the closest advice.
I have one question. So follow-up of Brother Hafiz's concern, so access to children. So is it possible, or do you see, is it possible to limit the access? Or
Not this one.
Not possible,
No,
right?
not this
Then
one.
what is the solution, I think, would be my comment, that just train your kids to get the train them to approach to the issues actually.
Yeah, so
Instead
we
of
have more
limiting the
complicated
access.
problems. Thank you.
So that's not possible like.
No, so they will have access. So number two is they will listen to their friends more. I had just a boot camp, and the kid was like almost rejecting his father. That okay, I don't need to talk to you. I am Asif. Like kids will pick their own favorite, good or bad. One for my family, for me. I grew up in a little bit rough neighborhood, not too much, but my mom was always, she always had great mentors around me. That saved me. And in the same neighborhood, one of the doctor who founded a physics department, my mohalla is what is the mohalla in English? Neighborhood name is in who's who because of that doctor. But it's a rough neighborhood. So what I'm trying to say is the kids will listen to someone else. I think, which I think is a good parenting is the closest advice, but more difficult now because this is available without money.
Limiting the access is not the solution.
Budgeting,
You
maybe a little.
You cannot.
You cannot. If
You
you want,
cannot.
I
even if
think
you want
that
to.
in the 21st century, the only thing you can do is teach your kids how to think critically and question. You cannot closet them, and you should not closet them.
Yeah, this idea that somehow you're gonna control this information, not gonna happen.
Make them independent, make them think critically, make them question.
Just like YouTube, right? When YouTube came out, oh, don't go there, don't go there. Can you keep a kid out of YouTube
Oh,
today?
yeah.
No, you cannot. And there's all kinds of information.
Mm.
Short-term solution is be knowledgeable. Long-term solution is train your kids to be the engineers who are feeding this machine. That's your long-term solution.
Good.
Is it good for today?
Can you do a last prompt? I'm sorry, what does EIC do?
What is?
What does Evergreen Islamic Center do, or what is Evergreen Islamic Center?
There's one
Let's
in
see
England also.
Let
Huh?
young people join.
Oh, let's see, Evergreen Islamic Center.
Or
Let's
what
see
does the
what-
president of EIC do?
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
What does?
Evergreen Islamic Center, yeah. Yeah, let's see what it says.
How to encourage the young people, right?
So it says September 2021.
Yeah.
It's possible that this center will be local community or religious.
What did it say?
So it says it's possible that this center may be a local. So it says my knowledge is limited to 2021, and it says it's possible that this center may be local community or religious organization that has emerged since my last update. Islamic centers are typically places, and then it's a generic answer.
It's very generic, yeah, nothing specific. Good, so we're not on the radar.
Are we okay to end this session now?
First,